Today we're going to talk about solving equations. So we've already talked about solving equations. You can review Unit 3 notes and videos for additional support. There's, I think, 5 different videos that can help you with this assignment. Now I'm going to go ahead and do number 1 with you, just to kind of get us back in the swing of things. So the first thing that we do with an equation when we're looking to solve is we draw our line down the equal sign. So we separate the two sides of the equation. Now we need to undo addition or subtraction first. So this right here is really a multiplication problem, and this is just a plus 8. This sign goes with this number following it. This sign goes with this number following it. So we have to get rid of this first. So we have a plus 8, and the opposite of plus 8 is minus 8. So that's what we're going to do. Minus 8. Now that cancels this number out. Now what we do to one side of the line, we have to do to the other. So we have a minus 8 on this side as well. Now we have two negative numbers together. Negative 7 minus 8. When it's two negative numbers, we really have a plus right here. Okay, and if you remember, we have a rule. It was keep, change, change. So when we do that, it is negative 7. We change the negative sign to a plus. Then we change the positive 8 to a negative 8. So it's really negative 7 plus negative 8. So when we do that, we end up getting 15, negative 15, sorry. And then we can move on to the next part of our equation. So we bring down that negative 5x. And now we have to undo the multiplication. So this is a multiplication problem, so we do the opposite. Opposite of multiplication is division. We can show division by doing a fraction bar. Okay, so we're going to divide by the negative 5, and what we do to one side, we do to the other. Now, this cancels out just that negative 5 right here. So we're left with x on the left side. Negative 15 divided by negative 5. We need to use that little smiley face mad dude. The eyes are negative signs. The nose is a plus. We're going to circle what we are using here. Since it is a negative 15 or negative 5, we circle the two negatives, and we're left with just a positive. So our answer is going to be a positive something. Now we know 15 divided by 5 just means 3. So we get x equals positive 3. And that would be our answer. All right, here is number 2. I made it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. So the first things first, we draw our line down the equal sign. Then we have to undo addition or subtraction. Now with the x being on the left or the right side, it's going to be a little bit different. But right here tells us our addition or subtraction. It's the thing without the x. We always start with the thing that's doesn't have an x with it. So this would be a positive 11. We know it's a positive because nothing is before it. So what is the opposite of positive 11? That would be negative 11. So we put negative 11. What that does is this cancels out, but we know we have to do the same thing to the opposite side of the line. So we do minus 11. Now we saw in that last slide, if we were to write it out horizontally, we have negative 13 minus 11. So when we do this, we can do keep, change, change. We can only do this when there's a negative symbol or minus symbol in the middle. So keep, change, change. It now becomes negative 13 plus, because we changed right here, plus negative 11, because we changed that sign as well. So it's negative 13 plus negative 11. Now we can go ahead and continue because we know we're adding these two. So this becomes negative 24 because we are adding them. Remember, we added it with this symbol. And now we're going to bring down the 3x. And this is a positive 3x because right here, the symbol goes with the following numbers. So positive 3x. So we brought that down. And now we have a multiplication problem. And we have to do the opposite, which is division. So we're going to divide by 3. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So these cancel out over here. And then we have negative 24 divided by 3. So we know 24 divided by 3 is 8. But we don't know if it's a positive or negative. So we have to use Mad Dude. So that big smiley face guy. Negatives as the eyes. Plus nose. Now we're going to circle what we use. We used a negative and a positive. What are we left with? We are left with a negative sign. So our answer has to be negative. So we get negative 8 equals x.